Hello and welcome to another episode of Garage Formosa. On this episode, unfortunately, it's not going to be any Lada stuff, although that is going to be coming up. I've finally got enough box of parts to do a video on. However, this one's on my Volvo. I had a bit of an accident and the front end's a bit mangled. But I do really like the car, so I don't want to throw it out, don't want to scrap it or anything like that. So I got a new front end to put on there, but I've always preferred the 850s over the V70. I like the boxiness, even though they're very, very similar. And I have seen a few posts, but the other way, people were having an 850 putting a V70 or an S70 front end on there. So I thought I'd do the opposite, V70 to 850. I know it's going older, but it's just the one that I prefer. So I managed to find one of a very, very similar colour. Eventually I have to paint it anyway, but... So, let's see how that goes. Let's do it. So I managed to find an 850 being racked up in northern Queensland. So I've decided to go out for a trip and pull the 850 front end off. Now, to remove the V70 front end is very, very similar to the 850 front end. Nearly all of the bolts are in the same position. So I won't show all of that because a lot of the steps are the same. And even putting the 850 front end on is just the same but in reverse. Alrighty, so we're playing around with the V70 wiper motors, trying to get them into that 850 radiator support. I found out they'll fit if you drill new holes in the radiator support and if you flatten out this piece of metal, because if not it just sits a little bit too far in, and when they go they sort of go on an angle. So I'll unscrew this and just beat the corners out of these, and then she'll fit pretty damn close. So that's pretty flat. So we'll pop that in and see how she lines up. Fast forward a bit, the front end is on. The front end goes on the same as the old one. However, I'll show you the few differences to make it fit. So this had to be adjusted a bit. I needed to elongate this bolt hole more towards the inside, and this one here needed to drill a new one and cut this part out. It doesn't quite fit perfect, but fits well enough. These plugs had to be changed, so you need the wiring loom from that. Alright, so this is the loom for the headlights that I got from the 850. The V70 doesn't really connect the same, but a lot of these plugs are the same. There's only one that's different. This is the headlight for the 850. That's the one for the V70. So it's nearly the same, it's just got an extra port. But all the other ones are exactly the same. So they're the wipers, they're the indicators, which is pretty handy. So I've done one side, just chopped off the plug at the loom. Taping. Squeeze a bit of the loom. Don't need too much of it. And handily, these are actually the same colours. Alright, so one of the next things is this latch for the bonnet. These mounts need to be modified. So the top's cut off, bolt holes greatly elongated. I didn't realise they were different. I thought they were the same between the 850 and V70, so I just didn't get them. So remember to get them, or you can modify them. But obviously, the standard factory ones will be better. I'll quickly show you how on that. Okay, so that just fails on there, so I'll cut that off, and this little plastic shield, just the corner. It's never ending. I definitely recommend getting the brackets from whichever car you took the front end from. Unfortunately I thought they were the same, so I left them on the 850. But apart from that, it all pretty much just fits in the same way. Intercooler in. Alright, so I got the factory intercooler out. It's full of oil by the looks of it. Quite a bit came out. But as you can see, it's plastic end tanks, and it's pretty thin as opposed to this aftermarket one, alloy end tanks, and it is a bit thicker. But it's a direct factory replacement, apparently. Yeah, it's all in now. Quite a lot of adjustment to get it to fit properly, but eventually got there. Could probably still use a bit of adjustment up there, but and the wipers do foul on the bonnet, so they'll also need to be changed. You probably, if you got the 850 to V70, you probably could keep them, but putting the 850 front end on these are a bit higher. So apart from that, it all fit fairly well. There's just a bit more adjustment in for this gap. Well, it's not too bad. Yeah, she's all done. Lovely. Alrighty, so that's pretty much it for the Volvo. There's nothing else I really need or want to do to it. That of course means I'll see you next time for more work on the Lada. See you then.